Okay, so Wentworth season 3. I'm no expert on prisons internationally, of course, um, but I know most prisons. There's a major dynamic difference between life without parole and anyone with parole. Generally, you don't just mix like 5 years for drugs with murderers. It's not considered viable because obviously you have violent people and non-violent people. I mean, it's not a good, it's like oil and water. Needless to say, the Australian version of Orange is the New Black, or is Orange is the New Black, the American version of Wentworth, it's kind of hard to tell. Um, Other than a couple minor, legal logistical points. I mean, Australia may blend. I know that in Sweden, prisons are much, much different than they are, and lifers and murderers are treated much differently. Uh, I mean, seriously, an American prison with a cell, a one person cell that large, they used to actually have them in a Los Angeles County Jail's medical as well as the pro per unit. They had large one man cells like that. But otherwise, not so much. I think actually, no, those are 2 man cells, and they're not that big and fulsome. And there were lifers in those. But, anyways, the logistics aside, the dynamics of the characters and the stories, Wentworth has been holding up. I mean, obviously, they don't want to let go of some characters, and there's a lot of things that seriously never would have made it to that point in the context that they were presented, especially if the prison system is operating as this one allegedly is. I mean, I've never seen a place where, even with gate passes, you have so much. Never mind lifers. Lifers get with this much freedom to walk around the prison. So many doors that just open, and then there's like cameras here, and then there's no cameras there, and I don't know. I mean, that's production stuff for dramatic license. Once again, the parallel universe theorem of television. It's not really our reality, it's a surreality of reality, as it could be if it was somewhere else what it is. Acting is good. The character dynamics measure, and there's a lot of reality in the actions of inmates and the types of situations that they deal with. Although the whole correctional officers all being not involved in the crimes, which like in American prisons, 90% of contraband is brought through correctional officers, as far as what I've witnessed. I mean, we actually there was actually an officer in not Solid, Wasco prison that used to bring inmates tobacco, and he'd divvy it out to the shot callers of each car after cigarettes were banned from prisons. And this was like a reception yard. It was, I mean, seriously, and it's just. So there were, and that was actually considered a good deed because he wasn't charging for it, and trust me, a carton of cigarettes was between $600 and $1,000 in prison at that point, and guards were making $600 a carton smuggling cigarettes into prisons. But anyways, the drug use, yes, the stabbings, yes, riots, a lot is real. I mean, I don't. I've never been to a women's prison. I've had friends who've been in women's prisons. And I've heard that they're very nasty, very dirty, filthy creatures. I do know that in a reception line intake in jail, women were treated very well because they complained a lot, and more than men. Men just accepted what they were given, and women would complain, and yeah, they got brand new everything. It was, anyways, that's neither here nor there. Wentworth, good. I'll give it. I think my rating so far is 4 stars on Netflix. Worth a watch.